Hello, and thank you for joining us once again on Classic Vinyl Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and I'm here with Tyler, but, come on, Tyler, you can always change your name.
Always. I reserve that right.
What would you change it to?
Oh, I've gone by so many different names over the years. When I was a kid, I grew up being called TJ because, Tyler Joshua, my, first and middle name.
We could call you Joe for this episode since that's what this song...
And then we can change my name right back.
Let's
just
do
like
it.
Prince did.
And if you've seen the title of our episode, of course, this is America and Ventura Highway.
Yeah.
But let me give you a little history on the band America first. They are an American band, not to be confused with Grand Funk Railroad, but they're an American band as well, and they proclaim it quite loudly.
There's a lot of American bands out there.
But America is an American and British band formed in London, England in 1970. It is formed of Dewey Bunnell on lead vocals and guitar, Jerry Beckley on bass and guitars, Dan Peake on guitars. Now, the band members, why they were in London, is they met while their fathers were in the Air Force stationed there. So that's how you've got an American band basically formed in London. So the band America signed a record deal with Warner Brothers in 1970, same year they were formed. They've basically had multiple touring musicians and session musicians over the years, so it's just kind of the three of them in the band, but obviously they use some of the other musicians for help.
Okay. They've got the main band and then the help.
Basically, yes. So all in all, they've released 23 studio albums, 11 live albums, and 22 compilation albums. They've got almost as many compilation albums as they do studio albums.
Not bad.
8 of their albums have been in the top 40, 4 of them in the top 10, and their self-titled America album hit number 1. So they've released a total of 47 singles. Now, out of those singles, you've got 11 of those hit the top 40, 7 in the top 10, and 5 hits that made it to number 1 on the chart. So the 5 songs that hit number 1 are A Horse with No Name, Sister Golden Hair, Tin Man, Lonely People, and Today's the Day. All pretty popular songs, really, and still get quite a bit of play. They had a mild comeback as far as the band's concerned in 1982 with the song You Can Do Magic. Hit number 8 on the charts, and that was kind of a popular one in the 80s.
I didn't put those together. That You Can Do Magic was by America.
America,
yeah.
So after their third album called Hat Trick, they hooked up with the former Beatles producer George Martin and engineer Jeff Emmerich. He produced their next 5 albums where Martin enhanced their sound with strings and bass, so they were well known for that going forward.
Wise choice.
Yeah, they spanned some hits with Martin like Tin Man, Lonely People, Sister Golden Hair, Daisy Jane, many others. So he was
a lot of the big ones.
Yeah, a lot of the big ones. He was key to their success and helped change their sound. But I mean, it's an amazing band all the way around. So
George Martin, he's kind of rumored to be the 5th Beatle, right?
He's one of the people that are considered that. I consider, as far as I'm concerned, he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's my pick for the 5th Beatle, but a lot of people have different opinions on that.
Still, it was a wise choice to bring him in.
I agree. So America has sold almost 15 million albums worldwide. They won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist and were nominated for Best Pop Vocal Group at the 15th Annual Grammy Awards in 1973. The group was inducted in the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2006 and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2012.
Wow.
So I would say for 3 guys that kind of met while their fathers were on station in London, I think they've done pretty well.
Yeah, not bad for a couple of military brats, huh?
Yeah. So do you want to get on to the song?
Let's do it.
And now it's time for the song review.
So today we're doing America and Ventura Highway. Now this is a song I'm very familiar with. Where do you sit with this one?
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with this song. The funny thing is the title of the song, Ventura Highway, is slipped in so subtly that I didn't really catch the title of it listening to it. So like when you sit down like, oh, we're going to listen to Ventura Highway, I'm like, great, I'm on board for whatever song this is. And then it starts playing. I'm like, immediately, right off the bat with the soft guitar open, I know it.
Yeah, I would think most people that, I mean, obviously if you're playing Sirius or Spotify or something in your car or whatever, you'll see the title, but you don't have a big chorus in this thing where they're just shouting Ventura Highway, obviously.
Exactly. If you're just listening to like the old style radio and it comes, and this is played all over the classic rock stations, they don't give you the title. They just, this is America. And it's a great song.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite America songs, without a doubt. I'm not huge into the band, but I'm pretty big into their hits, and I probably ought to get a little more into their albums and see what they have to offer. I just haven't.
I like Tin Man because that's a weird song.
Yeah, it's
and
definitely
I love weird songs.
Yes, we know you do. So let me give you a little history on Ventura Highway. This song was released on September 19th of 1972. The B-side of this song was a song called Saturn Nights. This is off of the band's second studio album called Homecoming, which that album actually reached number 9 on the U.S. Billboard chart. This song is written by Dewey Bunnell and produced by America, is recorded at the Record Plant Studios in Los Angeles, California. It's sang by Dewey Bunnell as well. So this song itself reached number 8 in the U.S., number 43 in the U.K., and number 5 in Canada. So this American band formed in London did the best in Canada.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Dewey Bunnell has said in the past that Ventura, that word itself, is what really triggered this song for him, because for him it was a feeling of adventure, matched how he felt as a kid. You know, he's from Omaha, Nebraska. He was told by his parents the family was moving to California. You know, for kids from the Midwest, especially during those long frozen winters that we're used to here in Utah as well, the idea of going to sunny California, especially in those days, it definitely seemed exotic and as unlikely as going to some beach island, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, when I was about 9 years old, we moved to Fresno, which is up the highway from Ventura a little bit. It was smack dab in the middle of the San Joaquin Valley. It was just blistering hot in the summers. But it was right. The days are longer and the nights are stronger than moonshine.
I think there's some problems with California nowadays that people don't like to speak of, but it's still a beautiful state and has a lot to offer.
It really is. And, you know, at the time, I mean, I was a kid, I totally get that sense of adventure from, you know, moving from the place of the cold winters and the snowy mountains to perpetual summer and sunshine.
Yeah, so Bunnell, he stated he wrote this song in England as one of his first group of songs that he wrote. It's based on a lot of imagery, you know, basically pertaining to his life and history and basically reimagining his earlier California experience and trying to harken back to it, to the sunshine and to what was going on. I remember reading a thing that Bunnell said that his dad had a flat tire when they're going down the Ventura Highway.
Okay.
And he's sitting there looking at the sign, Ventura Freeway on the 101, right? And that's what kind of triggered this feeling, the song, everything. And I kind of get it when you hear it. You get that feeling with it. And
yeah.
I don't know if you know Henry Diltz, but he's pretty famous. And he has kind of said about this song, when they asked him, what's this about? And he says, you know, this is from the guy that wrote A Horse with No Name. So
yeah.
And he also wrote Tin Man, like you spoke, that's really strange. And so it's kind of one of those enigmatic songs that people obsess over what it means forever and ever. And I don't think there's really a lot of meaning in it. And Diltz has said, you know, this was probably one of those songs that was enjoyed by people back in the day while they were smoking some of God's herb.
That's what I was thinking. They're just walking down the street, chewing on pizza and grass, or smoking grass. That's not.
Yeah, I don't think they were chewing on the grass.
No, it was a piece of grass.
Yeah, piece of grass.
Not chewing on pizza and grass. That opening lyric deceived me.
Yeah, I guess you could be chewing on pizza and grass.
Hey, if you get high, you're going to get the munchies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Bunnell's also said, you know, regarding the lyrics, you know, seasons crying, no despair, alligator lizards in the air, which is one of the kind of the cool parts about this song. You know, he says, the clouds, he says, that's me and my brother standing there on the side of this road while my dad's changing the tire and looking at the shapes of clouds, sitting here on the 101 highway, right? Looking at these things. And so this whole song is imagery, but I think it's mixed in with a lot of kind of bullshit lyrics too.
Yeah, and it's also just part of road tripping. I mean, this is one of the games that kids play to occupy themselves pre, you know, phones and tablets and DVD players in the back seat. You'd look out the window and, you know, you'd try and find the whole alphabet on the street signs or anything along the side of the road. You'd look up in the clouds and try to find shapes and stuff. So, yeah, alligators and lizards in the air, I totally get it.
Obviously, we both know this song, but after sitting down and listening to it, we did listen to it twice. What are your thoughts on it now when you've sat down and listened to it with the purpose of possibly dissecting it and giving it a rating?
I bumped it up in rating. I thought, I know this song so well. And, yeah, it's a decent song. It's not great, but I got to listening to it to critique, and it endeared itself into my heart. It went in deeper. And I thought, this is just really captivating. I love the energy of this song. This song is so magical in what it does. So it starts right off the bat with this acoustic guitar, which, the acoustic guitar in the era of the hippies is like the quintessential road tripping and hanging out and hitchhiking instrument. The only thing that might come close to it is the harmonica. There's no harmonica and this doesn't need it. This has the acoustic guitar and it's perfect. And it comes right off the bat, but it's so mellow and smooth, and yet at the same time it's charged with a fast upbeat rhythm that fills you with excitement of adventure. When he talks about that he wrote it just because Ventura sparks that sense of adventure for a kid from Omaha, I totally dig it. I get what he's saying, and this song, that's exactly what it does. Had a great time listening to lyrics that from a band that notoriously does odd sounding lyrics, the Horse with No Name, the Tin Man, all these other ones. It's got some of that strangeness to it, and we hear about things like Purple Rain. He references Purple Rain in here, and I'm like, okay. And this is like right before he says, hey Joe, you can always change your name. Prince sang Purple Rain. I'm thinking Prince became a self-fulfilling prophecy of this song. What do you think about that?
I wonder that, but I'm not a big Prince fan, so I didn't dive too deep into that thought.
Well, and he died a couple years back, so we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. But yeah, this is a good song. You said it. It starts with the acoustic. And I think the acoustic guitar really became a staple starting into the 70s. I think you had a lot of the heavier bands in the late 60s. And I think it was a little bit of a, coming off the Summer of Love and things like that. And that had kind of played itself out, the psychedelic, the heavier guitars and things. And this folky rock became more of a thing. And you're right, the harmonicas were not a thing anymore. That was a mid-60s thing. We were kind of in between the use of harmonicas and the use of saxophones that would come later for some reason, which I prefer the harmonicas myself.
Yeah, and I prefer the acoustic guitar.
Well, so do I to either of those. But yeah, it's a good song. And like I stated earlier, this is, I would say, probably my favorite America song. I've just always liked it. I love the acoustic throughout. It's got a steady beat throughout the whole song. The bass is really done well in it. The drums are kind of mixed to the back, but I think it's on purpose on this one. So you have a more powerful acoustic guitar feeling on this. The vocal by Bunnell is really good. I've always liked America's vocals. I think they work great. The imagery in this thing, the alligator lizards, wishing on a fallen star, waiting for the early train. To me, the lyrics in this are very... I know what Dewey's saying, this is back from his childhood, but he's throwing all this stuff in to rhyme and makes no sense. And it doesn't have to, because like we've talked a million times, songs are what you make them. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when we do this and we research what they mean, sometimes it kind of ruins the songs for me in a way, because you're like, oh, I always thought it meant this.
Well, yeah.
And then you do a little research and you find out that the songwriter really meant this. But I think that's what's good about songs, is they can still mean to you whatever you want them to mean. I hear songs and they harken me back to times in my life the same way.
In my mind, he's still walking down the road chewing on pizza and grass.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. Do you want to rate the song?
All right, let's rate it.
Song rating.
Okay, if this is your first episode, I'll explain our rating system. It's pretty simple, 0 to 10, and 10 being the best. I put this one higher than I expected. I slapped this one with an 8. I thought about this one for a second, because I thought, well, where do I put this? Because it's a good song. Is it that good? Yes, it is. It is that good. I bumped it up. I put it in an 8, and it's because it does the impossible. It completely melds together. I think I just made a new word. Like, it welds it, it melts it together. Yeah. In this crucible that is America. The smooth, easygoing, laid-back, relaxing feeling with the undercurrent of excitement that comes with adventure. I loved it. Loved everything about this. So I put it there. Is it a 10? Not in my book, but, America's just not my favorite band, but it is definitely an 8. I'm happy to put it there. Where do you put this one?
America's not my favorite band either, but I do enjoy listening to them from time to time, because they're kind of like a fresh breath of air, just kind of a cleanser almost.
Yeah, it's like when you're at a sushi restaurant and you have some ginger to cleanse the palate. These guys are the ginger.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm a ginger.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're right on the rating though. I rate this song an 8 as well.
Oh, really?
It's my favorite America song as far as I know. I haven't really dove into a lot of their albums and things, but something probably should do every once in a while because I've got a feeling that when you listen to their albums, you're going to get the same type of feeling from all their songs, which might be a little overpowering after a while. But yeah, I always enjoy listening to America. When they come on the radio, I very rarely change them. Good overall band and a great song.
Yep. They mix in very nicely with any radio station.
So that's America and Ventura Highway. And now we're into season 3, obviously, a few episodes into season 3. So we really appreciate everybody taking their time to listen to us. It means a lot to us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or songs you'd like us to rate, send them to classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates and also share us with your music-loving friends.